This is the Hunt Quietly podcast. I'm Matt Ranella. Loud and clear.
You want to pause that? Let me plug this in first.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm a poor person. I live in a modular home.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm a
How long have you lived there?
I'm a land baron though.
Yeah.
I've got 7 acres.
Yeah, you're land rich.
Yeah.
I like it.
I moved here in 2011. I used to live in town, but now I'm a country squire. It's actually pretty freaking sweet because I'm 5 miles outside of town, and I got an irrigated pasture, and so I have my llamas here. It's country living, but with the convenience of town right nearby.
Where do you get your water?
My irrigation water?
Yeah.
From the T&Y irrigation ditch that comes out of the Tongue River.
The Tongue River. All right.
It's a famous river. Like, it figures prominently in a lot of Western lore and like Indian, Native American, battles with the U.S. cavalry. A lot of them occurred around there, and a lot of Indians lived along there and traveled along there. A lot of explorers traveled along there, and plainsmen
Does it go into the Missouri
along there? No, it dumps into the Yellowstone River.
Oh,
the longest free flowing river in the United States.
Yeah.
Right here in Miles City.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where do the headwaters come out of?
Of the Tongue?
Yeah.
The Bighorn Mountains in Wyoming. And it flows down into a reservoir. What the hell's the name of that reservoir? That's ridiculous that I can't think of that right now. A big reservoir. Oh, doggone it. I got to pause. 1 second. In my defense, I thought of it before I looked it up. It's aptly named the Tongue River Reservoir, which is used to be considered a world-class crappie fishery. And there's still crappies in there, but it's not as good anymore.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone knows.
Well, probably something to do with maybe water temps or feed.
Do you ever find yourself asking a question, either to yourself or to somebody, and then realizing that there's no way that anybody could ever figure out the answer?
Yeah. Or it's usually a handful of answers, and it's, pick which one is a bigger factor.
Well, if there's multiple possibilities, then that's the same as not knowing. But you could say they're all okay, let me just come up with an example. I'm not going to be able to come up with a good one right now, but there's just times in my life where I've been thinking, I need to ask somebody why that is. And then I think, well, they won't know. Nobody, you couldn't possibly know. There's no possible set of observations one could make to ascertain. It's kind of a philosophical.
I feel that way when I start hearing people talk about the universe. And I'm just like, how could you actually possibly know what's going on
Yeah.
however many light years away in space, and you hear some, you know, whatever, astrologist, whatever you want to call them, talk about something that's going on
Yeah,
way out
yeah.
there in another solar system. And how could we possibly have any idea?
I just heard this physicist on Rogan talking about how they the astrologers figured out that there was mercury around helium in the atmosphere of some planet long
Before they
before
figure, yeah, before they figure
they
it out.
ever observed helium on Earth.
Right, right. I heard that same one. I think that was Michelle Thaler, I want to say her name was. I haven't finished it, but I started listening to that the other day too.
I just thought of one. And there's millions of these. Like, let's say that I was talking to, no, let's say I was watching a documentary on some sea turtle. One of those sea turtle species that lays all its eggs. The whole species, they lay all their eggs on some small beach somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe 6 months later, I ran into a sea turtle biologist somewhere. Maybe I'd be tempted to ask them, how did they choose that beach? But if I paused and contemplated that momentarily, I'd realize that there's absolutely no way he could tell me why that was.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure in your profession you get asked some questions. You're like, buddy, I don't know.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so what do we got on the docket for tonight? What do we got on the roster? Are you prepared to talk about corner
Yeah.
crossing?
Yeah, I think we wanted to, because the last podcast was going to go too long, and so we wanted to finish up with the corner crossing, and then what was the other? I think you wanted to talk about the blowback, some of these
Yeah,
big names.
I
Yeah.
want to talk about this music star, Cody Johnson. Are you a country music fan?
I am. I don't listen to a lot of the new country, uh, but I'm definitely a country music star. I just, some of this new age stuff, I cannot stand it. Cody Johnson's okay, but it's not something I don't even have him on if someone's playing him, it's whatever, but I don't listen to, he's not on any of my playlists or anything, but anybody new is, Coulter Wall is all I listen to as a new person.
I'm sure
Uh,
if I like dug around, I might find something that I kind of liked. But I love like Roadhouse, 70s, 60s, even some of the 80s stuff.
yeah, that's all I grew up listening to other than classic rock was classic country, Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, George Jones. I got a Waylon Jennings tattoo right here on my
Oh,
arm.
wow. You are a classic country fan. Holy shit.
Yeah, I've
Are
been
you going to
listening
get
to
it?
it
Are you
forever.
going to, ladies and gentlemen, he's got a W on the underside of his arm.
Yeah, that's the
Are you
way.
are you going to get a C on the other arm for Conway Twitty?
No, I should get his portrait though. That guy's he's funny. I like
Um,
Conway Twitty. Yeah, he's cool.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Nice to see you. It's been
Been
a
a long
long time.
time.
Um,
Have you ever watched Family Guy?
yeah, I watch a little bit of it.
Oh, there is this. I'll never forget this episode because it was so funny. It was where, yeah, middle of the episode. I don't remember why, but they segued into a Conway Twitty live performance. It was like Peter Griffin was talking about something I don't remember, but it was so funny because it was just like the most random thing ever. And it was
Oh
Conway
yeah,
Twitty
yeah,
singing
yeah.
on a stage, and it was just like it made Conway Twitty look like a totally out there, which he is in this day and age, but back in the day he was
Oh,
quite the
he's still
star.
among us.
I don't know. I don't think so. No, I don't
Oh,
think so.
when you said it made him seem totally out there, which he is in this day and age.
Well, I meant like this, that, if you were to sit down a 20-year-old and say, "What do you think of this country music?" and you played them a music video of
Oh
Conway
yeah,
Twitty,
yeah,
they'd
yeah.
start busting up laughing like, "What the hell is this?"
A cowboy once had a millionaire's dream, and God, I love that lady wearing tight fitting jeans.
Yeah, yeah, he died in 1993.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, one of my favorite classic country albums is Merle Haggard, "Back to the Bar Rooms." Do you know that album?
I'm sure I know every song on it. Yeah. I saw Merle
Went
Haggard.
back to the bar rooms, right back to drinking again. Well,
Funny.
it's over and over. I tried to stay sober, but look what a failure I've been. So it's back to the bar rooms again. No?
Funny, I don't know that song because he's written so many songs. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
keep up.
every song on the album is a drinking song. And the
Oh yeah.
album cover is him sitting, the picture, it's a picture of him taken from the bartender's perspective. And he's just shit faced, man.
Yeah.
He just looks totally soused.
I saw him live in gosh, that probably would have been around 2009,
Mm.
8, somewhere in there. And he even then he was, because he died recently, but even then he was uh he was hurting for sure.
Can you believe Willie Nelson's still alive?
Yeah, he's the last of the Crusades.
Does he still tour?
Yeah, he has to cancel shows every once in a while, but I believe so. I had tickets to his show a long time ago too, but fell very ill to the flu the day of the show. I had to give him away. I was so pissed. I never saw him, and that was, yeah. I can't believe he's still alive.
I hate modern country, personally.
I can't. Like,
I like this guy. I listened to a little bit this Cody Johnson today. It's just the most sappy bubblegum, nothing original about it.
yeah, it's all
It's like
regurgitated.
it's just like, and I just don't like the cosplaying, man. Like, if you're gonna wear a hat and boots, I mean, this is real judgy, but I've just always had a problem with LARPers. Um, if you, so, I just don't like people that put on airs. You know what I mean? I just struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I, if you're gonna wear a hat and boots, I think that you should have something to do with cattle or horses. Do you wear a cowboy hat?
Um, maybe once a year.
All right. So
I used to. Yeah.
that one day we wouldn't get along, but the rest of the time we do fine.
Yeah. I probably have 10 different cowboy hats because I used to volunteer at a really big rodeo. So it was a thing to do, right? I had family with horses and cattle and everything, but
Oh, well, you come by it honest.
I would not say that. No, I wouldn't, because I didn't. I didn't grow up
Okay.
that way. The way I grew up was, I always grew up an outdoorsman, but, uh, cowboy hat's good for the sun when it's on your head, though. It is a practical
Well,
hat.
if it's practical, then sure. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it better be, and for me, if I'm going to be not eye rolly about it, it better be quite clear that it's a practical choice.
A couple, what was it, 2 years ago, I rode some mules into the backcountry, and I felt obligated to wear one. And then I put one on and got on the mule, and there was a real cowboy, friend of a friend behind me, and I kind of felt foolish at the time. because he's a real cowboy, bull rider. Breaks mules his whole life,
And
and
you're all hat and no cattle.
yeah. Yeah. But again, it's in the sun, it's a practical hat. Beats a ball cap because then you're like me, I'm bald on my head, so the back of my head gets all sunburned.
All right. So
What good is that?
honest question. When you put that hat on, do you start just talking a little bit like this? Do you get a little country?
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
Yeah, grab a piece of hay, stick it in my mouth. I feel cool. Say howdy.
That's a nice little
Start calling it a creek turns into a crick.
Crick. That's a nice little filly you got there. So anyway, this Cody Johnson, like a couple weeks ago, he posts himself with a grizzly bear. He shot up in Alaska, and it caused a shit storm because even though he's a catchy singer, apparently a lot of his fans aren't down too much. They don't cotton too much to the hunting.
Right.
I screenshot some comments.
Oh,
This goes on for this goes on ad infinitum, or however you say it in Latin. It goes on and on for a long thousands of comments. But I just clicked on a few. Okay, before I start, I gotta say there's a shitload of positive comments. But here's the thing with that. That don't matter.
Right.
In terms of the future of hunting and maintaining a positive impression amongst non-hunters, if you're already on board, then you don't need to have this douchebag show you pictures of his bear. You're already on board. The only thing that matters is the negative comments.
Right.
And I'm gonna share some data with you momentarily from some survey data that shows just how not constructive posting a bear on social media is, particularly if you have a prevalent online presence.
Well, yeah, and it comes down to the predators. It's not just bears; it's mountain lions and wolves as well. Because the same exact story happened with Derek Wolfe, the NFL football player in Colorado several years ago with the mountain lion.
Do you have the deets on that?
Off the top of I don't have it in front of me, but the top of my head, I mean, it's in general, it's the same. Like I said, it's the same story. He hunted a giant tom in Colorado that was killing neighborhood pets. And total legit hunt. I'm personally glad he did it, but I don't like that he had to post a photo of it for millions and millions of people to see and get outraged over, because it's been shown to lead to a lot of problems in predator management. Case in point, Canada with the grizzly bear hunt that got banned off of social media.
Grizzly hunting in Alberta is banned from social media directly as a consequence of social media.
And now why the mountain lion hunt in Colorado didn't lead to a direct ban. It threw a shit ton of fuel on the anti-predator hunting in Colorado.
Oh, yeah. And just a couple of years ago, there was an initiative to ban predator hunting in Colorado, and it had a lot of momentum behind it. And certainly against the backdrop of this story you're telling me, that didn't help.
Right. And I hate that
why
argument.
do it? Just why do it?
Why? And everybody in support of it says, well, we shouldn't hide anything from the antis. Why do we have to hide it? And I'm like,
why don't you take a picture of yourself taking a shit? Why are you hiding?
Right. And
You're
it's like,
ashamed of your bowel movement, you know?
right. It's in me and my close friends that hunt and kill shit every year. If we don't post it on social media, does that mean I'm hiding it?
Does everybody that works in an abattoir, are they hiding it because they don't post pictures of the kill floor?
And by those standards, we must all post everything we hunt and kill on social media.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is. It's asinine. So here's what a lot of people, the sentiment of some people, that it's a small sample of the comments, of the negative comments.
Right.
Yeah, real hunters don't gloat. They don't boast. They respect the animals and the land. This is cringe as hell. I mean, the fact that so this person, Steel Blue Baby, construed what Cody was doing here as boasting. I don't see much to boast about. He went out and had an outfitter lead him up to a bear and he shot it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Absolutely disgusting, followed by badass. So like I say, it's a mix.
Right.
Fuck you, low-life scum. Shouldn't the bear have a weapon too? For the sake of fairness? It's so pathetic to kill defenseless animals just for fun. That's not heroic. It's a sign of an inferiority complex. Wow, not another bloodthirsty country guy who thinks he means thinks. Gary Afford means thinks. The best way to prove his manhood is to go and slaughter innocent animals and take photos with their dead carcasses. Classless. This is so embarrassing for you. Okay, this is absolutely disgusting. What kind of cognitive dissonance do you have to relish taking an innocent, sentient being's life? Killing animals isn't appreciating nature, but the exact opposite. Harming the animals who live there. Gross. What a big tough guy you are, JK. Small dick. Congratulations, you're a little bitch. On and on and on and on. Liked your music, but not interested. This is disgusting. So, not surprised, because every other year, the Council to Advance Hunting and Shooting Sports conducts its American Attitudes Towards Hunting and Sport Shooting survey.
Mm-hmm.
And consistently, what they find is only 40 to 45% of Americans are on board with bear hunting. And like you mentioned, numbers are similarly low for other large predators. I think they're even lower for lions. So yeah, it's not surprising, and that was not helpful. And I would go further and say that it's never helpful to post any dead animals on social media. I don't even think giving fodders to the antis is the biggest negative consequence. I think it turns hunting into a popularity contest and creates a market for exclusive access so that Joe Schmo can get the big one and be the tough guy on social media. It's basically, in my mind, it's advertising for exclusive access, because exclusive access is what differentiates the guy that's got the big one from the guy that's got the forky in much of the country, much of the time,
Right. And, back to the Cody Johnson's post, it's like, a certain percentage of those people that are leaving negative comments are so fired up that they're out there donating to some cause that goes against hunting and specifically predator management.
Yeah, and the next time there's a ballot initiative to ban some kind of hunting, like there is right now in Oregon, and apparently they got enough signatures, those people are going to be more energized to to sign and get involved. It's just people like this guy. I mean, just via their, like, I guess partly ignorance and partly like their insatiable desire for attention are enemies of hunting. And then, and this was turned into a big deal. There was articles written about it. I saw an article on Fox News about him having to defend himself. Yeah. And then, of course, I mean, I could have predicted this. I absolutely would have predicted this if the circumstances were laid out for me, that as the heat intensified, he would undoubtedly say, yeah, but predator hunting is conservation. We need to kill the bears so that there's more caribou and black-tailed deer.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Oh yeah. That's always the defense. And a bunch of other people were like, yeah, man, predator hunting's conservation. It's like, come on, man. Come on. There were so many more animals, species of the species of animals that bears eat. There were so many more of them before we came along and started hunting them.
Right. Yeah. And especially in a place like Alaska.
Come on. Before Whitey showed up on this continent with rifles, there were way more deer, elk, whatever, turkeys, caribou.
Its habitat is the number one issue.
It's like you aren't saving ungulates by hunting bears. I mean, it's like, come on. Just say you like hunting bears. At least be honest about it. I've done a little bear hunting the last few years, and I definitely don't portray it as like, oh, I wish I didn't have to go bear hunting, but somebody's got to do the essential conservation work. So here I go. I'm trying to bring a new word into common usage that I invented. I'll try this out on you and see what you think. I call it eco-signaling. You know what virtue signaling is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Eco-signaling.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where you try to justify shit that people don't like this, by saying it's conservation. And if you don't like it, you're not a conservationist.
When they go out and use those terms to justify, posting it on social media, I definitely agree that's an issue. But let me push back and ask you, just curious what your thoughts are on specific targeted instances, certain times of the year, predator management during fawn and calf recruitment times. You don't think that has an effect?
I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I just think that portraying yourself on Instagram like you're John fucking Muir is disingenuous.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, if you go out and plant a shelter belt or cut down some invasive tree species somewhere to make room for native nut-bearing hardwoods or anything like that, it's like, sure.
Right.
I mean,
it all comes down to habitat.
Or you go to your state legislature and make us think about something Mike Lee is doing or whatever. That's conservation.
Mhm.
I just don't. I'm just very sensitive about conflating predator hunting with
Yeah,
conservation.
here would be a proposal I would make to the Cody Johnsons of the world is take some of your millions, and if you really care about conservation, start by helping funding something like a wildlife overpass
Yeah,
over a major highway in a migration
yeah.
corridor.
There you go.
That would
There you
save
go.
hundreds, if not thousands, more deer than killing one single bear.
Right. Yeah.
But that's not sexy for the gram.
Right. Right. I wonder if he's ever. I mean, this guy's like enormously rich. I imagine. I wonder if he's ever donated any of his time or money to something that truly is conservation.
Yeah.
He probably
Yeah.
never even heard the word conservation until one of his handlers was like, "Hey, man, you're getting some negative comments. You
Well,
better come
maybe,
up with something."
to be fair, maybe we should look into that just to make sure.
No, you're right. I'm being a little too harsh. I just hate hunting social media so bad that I just don't.
Yeah, same here.
I don't give any sway. I don't give. And it's you're right. You're right to check me on that, Erik. And I'm like in all other arenas of my life, I am so willing to give the benefit of the doubt. But with this shit, oh, incidentally, let's not mention his name again because he just got so mad. But I'm gonna that dude that we were kind of saying was you kind of thought he had a bad reputation as an outfitter or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were
Yeah.
talked about in the last episode, and that he was his ex guides were selling hunting spots. I told him I'd take it down. I just did it
Yeah,
because it's just not. I mean, you can find anything online, like you'd think that I was Mussolini if all you did was look at what you found about me online. And I
Yeah,
still operate under the assumption that that my motivations are no worse than the average schmo. I still kind of think that I'm an okay guy.
Yeah.
You could endeavor to convince me otherwise, and you might
No,
succeed. But
no, you're just you're a guy with a passion, and same here.
yeah,
We all, at the end of the day, we all care about the same thing, and that's quality hunting and opportunity.
right.
And I think with the outfitter that's upset with us right now, I get his point of view. It's not from my angle. It's not just stuff I've seen on the internet. It's other people that are friends with some of these previous guides that worked for him that all universally had issues.
Yeah.
And so to piss him off, they're selling his waypoints.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that's on you. You obviously haven't taken care of your people. Imagine one of your friends giving away a hunting spot that you took them to. What would you have had to have done to a friend for him to be that mad at you?
I've had that happen. But people, yeah, no, it's just like, yeah, it's heresy. It's absolute heresy. Selling a hunting location, no matter what, you're not a hunter if you're selling waypoints.
Well,
a true hunter, somebody that truly respects hard work and scouting and the passion of the pursuit, and understands that all of the value of the hard work, that you're just so dishonoring a true hunter and what true hunters do when you just give it away for money. That's
same goes for the person who's purchasing it.
Yeah.
You're not a hunter for giving a few $100 to somebody to say, go sit on this knob.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to double click on this matter of when we put, I don't think you're a friend of hunting if you're putting dead and dying animals on. You're not an unequivocal friend of hunting if you put dead and dying animals on social media. I just want to double click on that with another study here, just briefly. And I've touched on this previously, I believe. I know I did, but I think it was near the end of the podcast and it was late, and I don't know if I did a good job. So I just want to. This was like 8 months ago, so I just want to touch on this again. There's another study that came out, 2025. Again, Council to Advance Hunting and Shooting Sports. I believe this was a Pittman Robinson funded study. Increasing cultural acceptance for hunting and target shooting, determining why the general population is lowering their approval for hunting and target shooting. 2025. Are you aware of this study?
Have you talked about this in the past?
Like I said, one time, like 8 months ago.
Okay, yeah.
So the impetus for the study, the motivation behind it is that approval of hunting amongst Americans is in decline. It declined 5% between 2021 and 2024. There should be another survey coming out anytime now. The American Attitude Survey generally comes out every 2 years. And that's a statistically significant decline. So this is overall hunting, not like I said previously, bear hunting is much predator hunting is much lower. But this study was geared toward finding out why acceptance is on the decline. And what they found from their survey was that 25% of social media users that they survey report seeing offensive hunting content online. Isn't that wild?
Wow.
Just think of all the people that use social media and all of their personal preferences.
Wow.
I mean, just think of that. Think all the people that live in major urban centers that are, like following pages devoted to to music and the arts and politics, etc., etc., etc. Even factoring them in, 25% of people that have Instagram or Facebook on their phone report having seen offensive hunting content online.
That probably has a lot to do with algorithms, right? Whether they have a friend that follows something hunting related, or they're into nature in any way, bird watching to, wolves in Yellowstone or something, and eventually something like that's going to come across their feed, and that's probably what they're referring to, is somebody holding a dead bear, wolf, or whatever, comes across their feed, and that's what they're referring to. And prior to social media, these people would have had to have walked into a Cabela's and looked on the wall.
Right. Yeah, or but now we're in a world where 5% of Americans hunt. Way less than 5% of those, way less than 100% of that 5%. So does that make sense? Of the people that hunt,
right,
only a fraction of them post hunting content online. And still, they've offended 25% of social media users.
Right.
So 2% of the population is offended 25% of population. That assumes that everybody uses social media, so maybe it's more like 2% is offended 12% if you assume half of people use social media or whatever. A big outsized negative impact given how few people hunt. So another stat from the study of social media. So this is clever. They asked people because they're trying to get a sense on how attitudes towards hunting are changing through time. So they asked people, has your attitude towards hunting become more negative or positive in the last 5 years? I think that was what it was, 5 years. And of social media users who report becoming less accepting of hunting over time, 41% report being offended by online hunting content. That's nearly half.
Yep.
Like, if you're a social media user that is increasingly taking a dim view of hunting, there's nearly a 50% chance that it's partly or wholly because of some bullshit you saw online.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then this is not okay. So those last two stats qualified it by we were talking about the subpopulation of people that use social media. So this last stat is all Americans. So of all Americans, 40% believe posting photos of hunted animals online does not show respect for wildlife. Just under half. And this is not like a 40%. It's not like, oh, but the other 60%, so the 60% win. No.
No. Yeah.
That is not how this works.
No.
That's irrelevant. What's relevant is that you're turning people off.
Right.
And then in addition to survey data, this really cool study also assembled focus groups and had discussions and asked them questions. It's pretty soft science, and I'm a hard scientist, but I like this kind of thing. And I want to read you a quote from, this is them summarizing some of the focus group research.
Okay.
An illustrative finding comes from one of the hunting focus groups. The moderator showed participants an image of a female hunter posing with a harvested turkey. The photo was deliberately chosen to be as inoffensive as possible. Parenthetically, there were no signs of blood anywhere on the animal. The hunter was smiling, and the image consisted largely of a visually appealing nature scene. The reaction to the image was mostly, but not completely, negative. Some stated that this was exactly why they do not like hunting. One person stated that they do not take a selfie, quote unquote, when they buy a turkey at a grocery store. The implication is that it is not enough that photos of hunters with harvested animals avoid showing blood or suggesting an overly dominionistic view of wildlife. Again, for some people, any photo of a hunter with a dead animal is offensive and unnecessary. And this may be a direct cause of their dislike of hunting. That is so strong, man. That, like, those guys deserve a lot of credit because there's a lot of pressure against them for putting out stuff like that.
In the hunting community?
And the hunting industry.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Right. And to me, it begs the question: what what would these surveys turn up as far as overall approval prior to social media, when you had to go looking for it specifically? Like I said, walking into your local sporting goods store, which these people never would have done.
Well, that's an interesting point. You know, I think I need to look, but these American Attitude surveys go back
Go back, yeah,
before
right.
social media. I just I don't have them on hand, but that's a good to look at them in the context of what values did approval hover around prior to social media and what.
Well, and and to be fair, anti-hunting nonprofits have been around prior to social media.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
the
Absolutely. The anti-hunting movement far predates hunting and
yeah,
social media, but I guess in my mind, the ultimate question is, are they not the ultimate question? I think hunting social media is terrible for hunting on multiple fronts,
right.
but I like this one because there are a lot of people that that don't agree that with me that hunting social media is terrible for access, terrible for the motivations of the hunting community, and like incentivize hunting for shitty reasons and stuff like that, and thereby cause crowding by incentivizing people to go afield for non-traditional reasons that have little to do with hide horns meat and personal satisfaction. They don't. There's people that don't buy that, but I maybe we could get them to at least buy that it's not doing us any favors in terms of in terms of cultural acceptance.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Am I being at all clear? I'm a little
Yeah.
tired. Okay.
No, you're good.
Um,
No, that makes sense.
Hot off the press, Mike Lee got an amendment through some subcommittee today or 2 days ago to uh, do away with the roadless rule. Do you know what the roadless rule is?
Oh. Yeah,
Look,
vaguely, but I know it's extremely important.
yeah, it was enacted by the Clinton administration in 2001, and it put a moratorium on road building.
Oh, that couldn't have been the
Road.
Clinton administration.
What's that?
That couldn't have been Clinton. 2001.
Oh
That was
wait.
that was Bush.
Oh,
Bush
was it?
was in 2001.
Yeah, Clinton was 92 to 2000. Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
but maybe it was okay, but it could. I think it went. I think it was passed under the Clinton administration and then went into effect in 2001.
Yeah, because Bush
Go ahead and look
was
it up. You want me to pause?
well, Bush was the president from
Let
01
me
to '09.
pause.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm seeing here is that it passed under Clinton and went into effect on January 12th, 2001. Wait, when does a president become? That was short
January. Yeah.
20th.
Yeah, it was right there, right when
So
Bush
he was still president.
Clinton.
Clinton was still president when it went into law. Because it would have been
Ja-
January 20th
January
when
20th is when his presidency ended.
ended. Yeah.
And yep.
Okay. So now we've gotten that cleared away. Uh, and what it did was put a moratorium on new road building and and road maintenance and on timber harvest on 45 million acres.
Right.
And I'm glad people are up in arms and we need to fight this thing. It's like this dude is a killjoy. He doesn't like happiness. Like
Well,
he's like,
ought to.
no, no. This Mike Lee is who I'm talking to about.
Right.
No. If you want to go out there and in that on that land, you need to pay. It needs to be privately owned and you need to pay. And we need to be looking for oil there and cutting down all the trees. No. There can't be natural wildlife and like quietness and peace and no chainsaws and no oil derricks. No, that's too much fun. That's not we need less fun. We need more extraction and less fun. That's like
Mm.
that's my caricature of this dude. He kind of looks like Mini-Me from Austin Powers.
From Austin Powers.
Yeah, you
He has hair though, doesn't he?
Mini-Me?
No, Mike Lee.
No.
Yeah. Oh, he shaved his head.
Yeah.
He recently did that?
He's just a freaking little dweeb. You know what phrenology is?
No. Hit me with
It's
it.
this old pseudoscience whereby people thought that you could analyze the shape of someone's skull and ascertain things about them. About
Really?
their like mental predispositions. Yeah.
Is there any examples of that?
Well, yeah. Here's a famous example. So the captain of the Beagle, you know that ship?
No.
That was a ship that Darwin went on where he formulated his theory of natural selection.
Oh,
The
okay.
data
Yeah.
he collected on that voyage to the New World what was the inspiration for one of the most momentous scientific theories in human history. But when he first met with the captain of the Beagle, who was a phrenologist, he examined Darwin's skull and surmised that Darwin was not going to make a good naturalist.
Wow. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so I look at Mike Lee's skull. I just think that has the skull of a little dweeb.
He doesn't like public land.
No.
I think there's more than one reason for that.
That land needs to be logged and mined, and the oil needs to be extracted, and we need to make money.
Yeah.
And
We need to make money.
And we need to grow the economy. People are having too much fun on that land. We can't have fun. There's too many fun seekers out there. We need less fun. More wood and oil, less fun. That's
Yeah,
how
and there's a certain group, religious group that loves to own land as well that he represents.
Oh, that could
They
be the
own
play. That could be the play.
They own, I think they're either the first or second largest
Largest landowner. Yeah.
Yeah.
They own a bunch of ranch land right around where I live.
They own, I probably shouldn't get into my work, but I got to work with them, with that church. They own a lot.
I've worked with some Mormons in the past. I went to graduate school with a couple Mormons, and they were sweethearts. Like, I really like these guys.
Oh yeah, great people. Yeah, that's not throwing shade on any individuals or the religion itself. It's just, the fact that they won't look after their own.
They're very ambitious. Very ambitious. Collectively as a group, they are very ambitious, even though in a lot of cases individually they are wonderful people.
Correct. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. That's going to be the name of this episode. Mike Lee is a killjoy.
No, and it's funny.
Mike
I've heard.
G. Mar, do you like Mike Lee as the fun police better?
Have you heard of some hunters who are in support of this? What their excuse is?
No.
I hate this one. We can't access all this wilderness area unless we're able to drive our trucks or side by sides in there. Some of us are old or incapable of hiking in 6 miles to get to the game. So we think there should be roads.
I will fight for roadless with as much or more missionary zeal when my knees are shot as I do right now. It's like what? 1% of places that you on the planet you can't get to with a car
I mean, yeah, if
or a
that,
truck.
right,
I mean, there's way more that you can't get to because you're not allowed to go there.
right. There's
But
plenty of roads in the national forest system in this country.
yeah,
Plenty.
yeah, the majority of places are for these yabots you're talking about.
Right.
The majority of it you can drive through. So you hunt that, and then a few of us will hunt the other spots, you know.
And when I'm old and if I'm in a wheelchair, as long as my kids and friends and grandkids are going to those places that I went my whole life, that's fine.
Absolutely.
I don't need to get in. I don't,
No,
it's all going to come
man.
to an end to all of us someday.
Oh, absolutely it is. But there's a lot of joy and satisfaction and peace of mind just in knowing it's there. You know, hey man, over 50% of Americans oppose drilling in Anwar, and only 1%, less than 1% of Americans are ever going to go to Anwar.
I was just going to use that as an example.
American National Wildlife Arctic and Anwar.
What's the R? What's the R?
Refuge.
There you go. That's got to be it.
Yeah. What's the N though? All right, pausing.
I'm looking too.
Yeah, I just get nervous. As soon as I hit pause, it's both of us this time. As soon as we hit pause, Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. Like 1,000th of 100th of 1%, 1,000th of 1%, probably that will ever go there. And yet, it just makes me love my fellow Americans that a clear majority of them don't want drilling there. And also a clear majority of them oppose selling off federal lands, even though,
that's where we all come into agreement on, is that we all get together bipartisan across the aisle with, anti-hunters, greenies, if you want to call them, and hunters, bird watchers, hikers. You're not selling
but
most
people are not even any of those. They're urban, like they're New Yorkers, and they live in LA and San Francisco, and still they'll never go to one of these places. Most Americans, I suspect, live their entire life never outside of sight of a building, would be my guess. I mean, you and I have this perspective because of where we live, but it's just really easy to forget,
right,
that we have these huge metropolis areas. And
I think, people go to Yellowstone.
People that never leave them.
Yeah,
and
or
still,
it's once every...
And still, over half of people don't want way over half don't want any federal land sold off. But this douchebag, mini-me looking fucking motherfucking killjoy, fun police son of a bitch. Did you know that his ancestors were involved in the Mountain Meadows massacre?
Was that the when was that?
That
Was that
was
the
in the eight.
1700s?
It was in the 1800s, where it was a. Oh, let's look it up. God dang it! I'm pausing, and we're back with the scoop. Lay it on us.
September 11th, 1957. So you were pretty close. You said 1800s, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
pretty close. I was dead
I was
nuts right on middle of the century.
I thought for some reason it was more in the late 1700s. Anyways, southern Utah, this was a wagon train of immigrants from Arkansas known as the Baker Fancher Party.
Were they Mormons?
No,
Okay.
they were just they think they were just homesteaders traveling across the country
Okay.
looking for better
Protestants.
land. Yep. They were massacred by a Mormon militia. And it took place during a really tense period in of the Utah War, when the Mormon settlers feared the U.S. military invasion, what they called it, and they were just all of them were highly suspicious of any kind of outsiders.
Okay.
They were so this group of immigrants were under siege and surrendered under a promise of safe passage, but instead, approximately 120 men, women, and older children were killed, and only a small number of really young children of this party were spared. And for a long time, the massacre was blamed primarily on Native Americans, but later investigations.
Oh, that's right. I think they dressed up like Native Americans. I think.
Oh, that's dirty.
Yeah, I think the Mormons dressed up like Native Americans. Yeah.
Yeah, and probably sent some kid back to say, "You go tell everybody this was from Native Americans."
And they took when they say that that's bone chilling. When they say a few little kids survived, that means that they took them in. You know.
Oh my God! And it's funny. Only one participant. Circle back to Mr. Lee. John D. Lee was ultimately convicted and executed.
Okay, so that's that. You dug into my assigned topic.
It's a segue. It's a segue.
Okay, thanks for setting me up. So Senator Mike Lee, Mini-Me, is a direct descendant of John D. Lee, a Mormon militia leader and Indian agent who was the primary organizer and key perpetrator of the 1857 Mountain Meadows Massacre. So John D. Lee negotiated a false truce with the weary Fancher Party immigrants. This must be the immigrants you're talking about that were coming through on their wagon train, offering them safe escort under Mormon protection. He then led the defenseless women and children out of their fortification, signaling the militia to execute the adult men. This is Mini-Me's freaking like grandpa or great grandpa. That's some cold-blooded shit, man.
I think it's interesting.
How so?
Mike Lee.
It already is interesting.
Well, get this. Mike Lee has publicly defended his ancestors, arguing that John D. Lee was made a scapegoat and that others who were involved were never prosecuted.
Oh, my God. Well, okay.
First of all,
what you should say is my great granddaddy or whatever.
Yeah.
He did bad. He done wrong, and he should have gone to jail. And he was ultimately executed. I could see him. I could see Mini-Me saying, "Yeah, he deserved to be punished, but so did a bunch of other people." If that's what he's saying, I agree.
I don't know that he didn't say that. He's just said he was made a scapegoat and that others who were involved were never prosecuted. So maybe that does mean along with him, many others should have been prosecuted, which is true. It wasn't just him by himself that
Right,
massacred 120 people.
right.
But what ultimately though, what are we getting at with that story? Me personally, I just find it interesting. I don't, I'm not
I
going to
don't.
hold.
You can't hold that against mini
No,
me.
of course not. No, you can't hold you and I if some of our ancestors were slave owners, as we have nothing to do with that.
No.
No.
No,
So
I hate that idea that that I should have to pay reparations because of something that white people did before my ancestors
slavery, yeah, and it's
ever
been
even came to the country. You
and
know,
it's existed in
I'm
every
all about
culture forever.
I'm about I'm about personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Let's say I had slaves. I think that I should have to pay uh for that like legally. I think that's awful. I think slavery is awful.
Mhm.
But the idea that you're going to punish people for what their ancestors did, that's just bullshit. So
And
yeah.
where does it end? Yeah,
Yeah.
where does it even end? It would go on forever.
Yeah. So I don't hold yeah, this is just a historical curiosity. I am not trying to use this to cast additional shade on Senator Lee. There's already plenty of other reasons to dislike him.
Mhm.
Primarily, foremost among them is that he's a killjoy. He doesn't like
Yeah,
people to have fun.
and
No, you don't get to wander around the earth. There'll be no wandering around the country.
and the federal government doesn't have the right to own land in his state, right? That was his big thing several years ago that he got defeated in, was he was trying to transfer federal lands to the state.
Oh, that was just like 2 years ago.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he
No,
we all know.
he's been at this for well over a decade.
Yeah, and every time he gets defeated, he rears his head again a year or two later with the same bullshit.
I like the stick to itiveness. You know,
Yeah,
I wish he had goal. I wish he had that level of stick to itiveness, but was working on shit I agreed with.
yeah, like banning hunting social media would be great.
Okay, again, man, this has been great. There's one more potential topic. Should we try to do it
Yeah, maybe.
or
I mean, we can hammer this out real quick because I would assume by now, if you don't know anything about this yet, you've been living under a rock. So it's
okay?
more of just a brief. Um, with the recent corner crossing issues in Montana. Um, I mean, we could start with what happened with the tent circuit,
I'd rather
U.S.
do
Court of
less and
Appeals.
have it be clear than more and have it be murky.
All right. So this year in January, the Montana Department of Fish and Wildlife and Parks issued an internal memo declaring that corner crossing remains unlawful in Montana and instructed game wardens to issue criminal trespass citations.
That's
This re-
unprecedented. That's
right.
unprecedented. I don't think anybody's ever been cited in Montana for corner crossing.
Right. It's a significant shift in enforcement because prior guidance with FWP generally treated corner crossing as a non-citable offense due to the legal ambiguity surrounding the issue. So after that, after everybody found out about it, BHA, Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, and the Public Land and Water Access Association, PLWA.
PLWA. Those guys are
Yep.
my buddies.
I don't know enough about them, and that's my fault. I need to look into them more.
Oh, was it you? Oh, no. I was podcasting with this dude last week and I was telling him about this, but oh God, I've talked about this so many times. So let me do this in the minimal amount of words possible. A few years ago, this is the sort of thing they work on all the time. This is what's that word? Ballywick. This is
Bread and
their,
butter.
yeah. I wanted to park in this spot on this road, and I wasn't sure that it was legal, so I called the sheriff. He told me it was. Then I still wasn't sure, so I called the head game warden. He told me it was. I went and parked there, recreated for a day or so, a couple days, came out, and there's a nasty note from the adjacent landowner saying that was private property and I couldn't park there. Then the the landowner's outfitter, who's been on this podcast, called me and chewed my ass. And then I think I told PLWA. I did. I told them about it, and they've been working on it intermittently ever since. That's the sort of thing they try to do. That they do is they try to prevent a legal closure of access to public lands. That's their thing.
Okay, gotcha. A legal closure.
Yeah, they try to prevent landowners primarily from blocking access to public lands. They're
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
They're awesome. And you should support them. They've been on the podcast too.
Oh, really?
Public Land Water Association. That is an awesome organization. So if you're concerned,
are they based out of Montana?
Out of Billings, Montana. So if you're concerned about powerful, insidious forces conspiring to prevent you from seeing parts of the planet, experiencing, recreating on parts of the planet that you currently have access to, then frickin' support PLWA. Them and Hunters for Access are just the only two organizations that you need to be throwing money at. That's basically what
I gotta look into them. I'm totally down for that.
I think that they're largely Montana focused is the thing. I wish there was a PLWA in other states.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they don't have chapters in other states.
I don't think they do. I don't think they operate outside of Montana, but I'm not sure.
So then it makes sense why they partnered with BHA and filed this lawsuit against Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. And that lawsuit seeks to establish the legality of corner crossing in Montana and secure public access to approximately 871,000 acres of public land that otherwise would be inaccessible if corner crossing is deemed unlawful. So that's a lot of land, folks. 871,000 acres.
Yeah, it is. And it's worth fighting for.
In one state.
Yeah, it's definitely worth fighting for. However, it's a little too late to try to do this, but I'm going to try to do it. There's a part of me that thinks of corner crossing as a red herring. I think that we should be shooting way higher. So for every acre of land that would be made accessible if corner crossing was conclusively demonstrated to be legal, there are many, many, many more acres that it wouldn't open up because they're landlocked. And so we fight for this corner crossing access, but nobody says anything about the fact that we have no access to these landlocked lands where cattle ranchers are paying $1.35 an animal unit month to graze their cattle when the going rate is $20. Okay, so they're paying nearly like 1/15 or something like that of what they should be paying on the fair open market value for the rights to graze those lands. And on a just planet, in a just society, in a just world, if you want to graze your cattle on the people's lands,
provide access to it
for 1/15 of what it's worth, then provide access to the land. Erik, I would go so far as to say, give them the grazing right, the adjacent landowner grazing rights for free, provided they allow people to access the land. And that would be way more just than what we have now. And so I think the conservation orgs like PLWA and access orgs like PLWA and backcountry hunters and anglers are setting their sights too low.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. We can't force private property owners to allow access.
No, but we can
Right.
we could charge. We can
Well,
give them a choice. We can say
right. If we can't,
pay fair market value for your grazing lease, or allow public access. It's your choice.
yeah, and I kind of agree with that argument I've heard before too. If we can't enjoy it, you can't either.
Wait, are you not fully on board with what I'm saying here?
No, I'm.
Okay.
I guess I could say. I guess I'm on the fence because
You think we should just give them the grazing rights for nearly free?
no, I'm saying if you and I, the common public land hunter, recreator, cannot enjoy that landlocked piece of public land, then the rancher who butts up to it shouldn't be allowed to enjoy it.
Oh,
I'm just saying this is an
enjoy
idea.
it or graze his cattle.
Enjoy, graze, hunt it, graze on it, whatever. If we can't all access it because we all own it.
We're saying the same thing, just using different words.
Yeah, and again, this isn't. I'm not drawing any lines in the sand yet on that particular issue. I am on the corner crossing, absolutely. I'm not affecting your property by going over your airspace 10 inches with my foot or my arm. Give me a fucking break. But I'm just saying.
Hey man, I'm not challenging you in like you're missing the point or being dumb kind of way. I'm just curious about your viewpoint right now when I say this. So it's like, where okay, let's say that my view, I just trying to understand where my perspective goes is like controversial. Again, just as simply as I can state it, Mr. Rancher, you have two choices. You can pay 15 times more to graze that BLM over there, which is fair market value. And that's according to congressional research. Congress looked into this and decided and figured out that they were paying this $1.35 they pay. This was a congressional report that found that the true value is $20. Okay. So you're with me so far?
Yeah. And this is only on federal land we're talking about. We're not talking about state land.
I mean, and state grazing rights on the grazing lease fee on state lands is way higher, which only solidifies the point.
Exactly.
So I don't see where it's at all unfair to say this is the deal. Either you allow recreationists on there, or you pay fair market value to put your cattle on there. And I'm wondering, do you agree with that or not?
I don't know that I agree or disagree. I get your point. I would assume that the majority of those ranchers would say, "Okay, I'll pay it. No way in hell we're putting."
No, what I'm saying is, would you agree? Let's say there was a bill that a citizen's initiative,
that it was one or the other.
Yeah, and you had to vote. You got the opportunity to vote.
Yeah.
And the vote was maintain the status quo, where these landowners pay a pittance. They basically graze their cattle for free, exclude the public, and get an additional source of revenue from providing the outfitter access to that land, or
Man.
they pay, that's the status quo. Let's maintain that, or maintain the nearly free grazing and allow public access, not to your deeded.
Right. But it'd have to be an easement.
Yeah, just a little path.
Right. Which I've been through those. I've been through easements on ranches to access public ground in Montana.
Mm-hmm.
And, you get to the gate, you're supposed to unload your rifle. And go ahead.
I've never seen that. I've never seen
this one ranch I've hunted public land on the other side of it. The sign says, "Please unload your rifle," which when you're in grizzly bear, I'm sorry, I'm not unloading my rifle walking through grizzly bear country. I'm not going to shoot an animal on your ranch either. So,
okay, but let's not get too far away from
no,
the
okay.
matter
So,
at hand. Would you vote for it or not?
Would I vote for it? I would need to hear the arguments on the rancher side. Let me say this. I have a soft spot for third, fourth, fifth generation ranchers that are barely getting by. And I would have to see if you quadrupled whatever the number is to say this is what you're to have a grazing allotment on federal land.
No. They don't have to pay more. All they have to do is open up a 5-foot wide strip to the public.
Right, but you're saying they have two options.
Right.
It's either that. It's going to be
okay. I just want to make sure you understand the hypothetical. That's
right.
all. Yeah.
It's either that or they pay more. I think the new age ranch owners, the hobbyists from Chicago and the East Coast and California and Texas that buy up these ranches,
they're going to be like, I'll pay it.
I'll pay it. Fuck those people. I don't want them on that land.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have your old-timey third, fourth generation rancher who's barely making it by going, shit, I don't have a choice. I can't pay it. So now I'm going to have Joe Schmo walking through my back 40 all year, every year to access that public land. I'm not saying I'm going to vote yes or no today. I'm going to need to
you're
really,
going to have to meditate on it. That's fine. I'm going to have
to meditate.
I respect that. I respect that. That's, yeah. I personally, I'd be like, fuck you. Let me on my fucking land.
Well, what's coming down the pipeline now is we already know people are chartering helicopters to these blocks of land.
have a friend of mine that's done it twice.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
What?
I don't like that at all.
Because
helicopters flying over a herd of elk is fucked. I've been in that situation. I've seen on a sheep hunt I went on, there was a helicopter circling around us on this mountain sheep hunt. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, I mean, my friend, like, it wasn't, they did a joyride. They just lifted him into this area directly, no buzzing around, dropped him off, and left.
It's just,
okay.
I don't.
Okay, so to demonstrate the hazing or the disruption must not have been too severe. Both times when he landed from camp, within an hour of the helicopter leaving, he's hearing bugles from camp. And on both times he did this, he killed bulls. One of them was a fucking giant.
Yeah, because it's a protected area, right?
Yeah. I love that. To me, that's Robin Hood shit right there.
How much does that cost?
$3,000. Hey, dude, I'm not saying I'd do it. I wouldn't. I keep pack llamas all year. I'm not going to keep pack llamas all year to then go helicopter hunting. but
Yeah, and
I'm supportive of it.
I guess I do, contrary to what I just said, I do support it. Like, I wouldn't say we need to ban that at all. I just don't like. I have a oh fuck, don't even start on drones, because what's coming down the pipeline with drones? These drones that can pick up 800 pounds. And there's all these hunters talking about, well, we're just going to get drones to drop us off over these, over landlocked pieces of public land. Uh, I see where this is going.
I oppose using drones for game extraction on not landlocked. But on landlocked, it's like, fuck them, man. That's our land.
It is, but it's also not. And I'm playing devil's advocate here.
No, I'm sympathetic to your perspective. I just have a slightly different one. And
it's not. To me, it's like something needs to be done. I agree, but it's also not. I'm not talking about the Texas oil guy that just went and bought a ranch as a hobby farm in Wyoming. I'm talking about the third generation rancher. They didn't make up those checkerboarded pieces of land or those landlocked pieces of public land. Their grandfathers didn't. It was our federal government that fucked it all up for everybody.
Yeah, but they get I don't know, so much, man. They get so much. In addition to nearly like the $1.35 in AUM they pay, most of that goes right back into improvements on the BLM that they're leasing.
I just hope they're able to maintain
water development, fencing, and then in addition to that, they get shitloads of money to support operations on the land they own. Price supports, direct subsidies, disaster relief, EKIP, free pivots. I'm even more outside the norm, or like radical than just pay fair market value for your grazing lease or allow people to go in there. I'm even on the deeded. I mean, if you go on the ag subsidy database, you can look up any ranch and farm in this country. You'd be shocked. Maybe you wouldn't, because you probably know, but a lot of people would be shocked. Like farms and ranches in this, ranches around where I live, most of them have accepted $20-30 million of public money in the last 2 decades. And I mean, how is that not extortion? That my money, my freaking money is bankrolling these places. They're basically state owned. A lot of these farms and ranches are basically, in my opinion, are state owned. Like we give them, when you're giving them $1 million a year. In a lot of cases,
haven't looked into that. I've heard you talk about. I have not looked into that. Send me some stuff.
Just look up EWG Ag Subsidy Database. Look up your favorite ranch. And I mean, so it's like, that's what am I like, the whipping boy for the ranching industry? Shut up, bitch. Shut up, you little bitch. Just give us your money and stay off our fucking land. I don't think it's fair. European countries have these right to roam laws, and that was a big impetus for them instituting these right to roam laws, was that these ag lands were getting so many dollars from the taxpayer. That was a major motivation.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. All that, and they have a lot less public land, if any, than over here, I would imagine.
But the guy, okay, so these Deseret ranches that are owned by the Mormons, as near as I can tell, they don't take a dime from the federal government. I might be wrong about that. I might be missing something. So there you have places that, hey, man, we bought this. We don't take a dime of your taxpayer dollars. I'd be like, okay, yeah, I don't have any freaking business going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think a lot of them have landlocked land, and so there's still that issue. But in terms of the price supports, direct subsidies, disaster relief, improvements, NRCS improvements, EKIP, they don't. I don't think they use those programs. So
I think in a lot of cases there could be argument for an easement where in no way, shape, or form would it compromise the value of certain ranches and certain spots where you could access the public land behind it. Now, it would, to somebody who values that ranch based off of the undeeded acres that are blocked off in the back that the general public can't access, which a lot of real estate agents sell properties based off of that.
I think that's unjust.
It is that part is for sure. Yeah, it's just going back to the PLWA and BHA. I don't know if that's a battle anybody can put up anytime soon. I don't know where they would start with that.
Well, okay, so to explain this part to me. There's these, what are they called? District courts or
Yeah.
in the or circuit.
Circuit.
Courts.
Yeah. The U.S. Court of Appeals has circuit courts, and the 10th Circuit was the Wyoming case last year,
right?
The year prior, whenever that was.
Yeah, and the 10th Circuit. These circuits correspond to geographical locations. So
right,
the 10th
Circuit is Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Kansas, Oklahoma. And what we're talking about with this Montana case,
but
they're in the 9th.
Just before we get to that,
sure.
What happened there was the 10th Circuit ruled that corner crossing was legal.
Correct.
So there's all these western states already where it's been decided that it's legal. So
right.
Montana is in the what circuit?
They're in the 9th.
Okay.
Which it also includes Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, Oregon, Washington, and California.
Okay. And
in these states, right, as of recently, in these states, there was usually no statute expressly allowing corner crossing, nor was there an unlawful statute. It's been a gray area.
All right, but my question to you is, we just had this major victory, the 10th Circuit. Why are you so pessimistic about the 9th?
I don't know if I said I'm pessimistic.
I thought that was what you were getting. You said something about PLWA and BHA. I don't know how they think they're going to.
Oh, I was talking about the landlocked public argument that you've been making.
Okay. No.
The stuff that
we've done enough on that.
I'm talking about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a whole nother.
Well, all right. Real briefly. Sometimes I believe in life. Let's say that realistically, you could hope to accomplish A. That I think it makes sense, but B is more aspirational. B is harder to achieve. That by striving for B, you might more easily end up at A, at least.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think
aim high.
Right. Well, those hunters out of Missouri for the Wyoming case, they were only aiming at corner crossing and not.
Okay, you got to lay it out now that you said it. You got to lay it out. It's
Uh,
easy to forget that we're not just having a discussion.
right. Well, most people know.
I was half hoping that neither of us would mention the backstory on the 10th Circuit judgment ruling, so that we wouldn't have to get into this. But being that you did, you're the one that has to lay it out.
Well, I'm not going to lay out too much, just the gist.
Minimal words possible.
It's the gist of it was these two hunters out of Missouri were corner crossing a piece of private to access some public land to go, I believe they're hunting elk.
They were.
And right.
In Wyoming.
In Wyoming. And this rich fuck from the East Coast, what was his name?
I don't know. He's some kind of, I don't know. But anyway, he owns a huge ranch, but he's not from a ranch. He's
not a rancher. No. He made his money in the private sector and bought this ranch and wanted to keep that piece of public land to him and his buddies and not the public. So he tried putting up signs, called the sheriff, called the game warden, turned in this whole hoopla where it went to court. And the case was dropped on a criminal basis. There was no criminal charges to be had for these.
No, there were criminal charges, but they beat the criminal charges.
Right. That was dropped. Right. And then that landowner sued him civilly. And correct me if I'm wrong. Do you remember, that was in the highest court, right?
I don't know what you mean by that. Not the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't seen.
Was it?
It was no. Because if corner crossing ever got adjudicated at the Supreme Court level, then this.
You're right. The Supreme Court denied to hear it. That's what it was. Okay. They didn't want to hear it.
No, but yeah, like a civil suit has. I think that has nothing to do with like district or circuit courts or the federal or the Supreme Court. I think that's a different.
You're right. No, I think he tried to take it there. Right. Okay. Anyways, he tried suing him civilly and lost that case as well. So.
Yeah, and then I think the landowner appealed in hopes that it would be, that the Supreme Court would take it on, but the Supreme Court demurred. Yeah. Yes. So that's why it's kind of, I think, etched in stone, more or less. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit naive in the 10th Circuit.
On the 10th Circuit, right.
Yeah.
And that pissed off a number of people, including the lieutenant governor, your lieutenant governor over there of Montana, Kristen Juras. And do you want me to get down in the weeds with this stuff?
Do you think the listener will be
asleep by now?
I think we've done a good job. I think it's a good. Oh, do you need some time to collect your thoughts?
No, I mean, it's pretty simple. So this lieutenant governor, she's repeatedly asserted that corner crossing constitutes trespassing under Montana law.
And this chick is from a ranching background, and her family owns a lot of land, and
I think they're one of the largest landowning families in Montana. They have roughly 250,000 acres.
The Juris family?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She comes from the Galt family, so it's technically the Galt family, her maiden name.
Okay.
And much of her family's holdings are associated with checkerboarded or corner-locked public lands.
There you go. Oh, huh. Wonder why she cares. Wonder why she cares.
They also advertise guided hunts through outfitters operating on these lands.
That's worth saying. That's worth saying. Yeah.
So makes sense that she's was displeased with the 10th Circuit ruling over in Wyoming, and now
Erik,
that they're pushing.
Would you maybe consider putting that all together in an Instagram post?
Oh yeah, sure.
You can imagine where you could make that pretty compelling.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
I'll work on that. So the other,
That's too rich. This girl's like, oh, corner crossing. That's illegal. And then it turns out that her family owns shitloads of land. And there's a bunch of checkerboarded land. It's just, I don't think that people in general know that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
I didn't know it, and I have a hunting podcast,
Right.
But I'm kind of dumb, so that's not too surprising. But anyway, I'm kind of ignorant, so.
So obviously, Montana Outfitters and Guides Association, MOGA, is going to be, want to have a say in this and be involved in this as well. Their current president is this guy named Rod, I want to say Paschke.
He is the guy that I was describing to you earlier, that with this incident I had. That's been on the podcast. Same guy.
If I have the name of this ranch in front of me, should I say it?
Go ahead, yeah.
The 7 Blackfoot Ranch?
Yeah, that's the ranch I was referring to with all of that.
Okay. So that was around 2024, 2 years ago. A gate was installed across that 7 Blackfoot Road.
Wait a minute, how did we get onto this?
Well, because this kind of just is going to tie into...
Okay, so you're now talking about the incident that I was referring to
That's funny.
That I instigated, but...
Okay. Yeah, they blocked off this road, restricting public access to over 20,000 acres of BLM land.
Yeah. Yep.
In a wilderness study area.
Yeah. Yep.
The broader argument here is
I don't see how that relates to this.
It's just kind of
woman. She's the lieutenant governor. How that relates to her?
Well, I'm trying to tie in 3 big entities into this whole push for making corner crossing illegal.
Okay, MOGA,
the lieutenant governor, and now Leslie Robinson, who she serves as a chair of the Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks Commission for Region 6, and she's also the president of Montana Stock Growers Association.
Okay.
So there's a conflict of interest there, because FWP Commission oversees agency priorities, regulations, and policy direction. And the MSGA, Montana Stock Growers Association, has consistently opposed unrestricted corner crossing and filed an amicus brief supporting Wyoming landowners in the Missouri Hunter case. And that organization argued in favor of expansive private property rights, including protections extending into airspace above said private land.
Yeah. Erik, my belief is that, let's say that there was that leased land outfitting was illegal in Montana. There was a citizens initiative and we made it illegal. This would not be happening. The only reason that the lieutenant governor and this other chick you're talking about care about the corner crossing issue is because they're trying to make them and their constituents are trying to make money off of wildlife.
100%.
And if you made it impossible for them to make money off wildlife by making leased land outfitting illegal, there'd be no reason why they would want to prevent corner crossing.
And if there is other reasons, I would implore people to email us and give us those other reasons so that we can consider them on a discussion.
Now, again, you're being measured. God damn you and your measuredness. All right, this is enough, man. I gotta go make some catfish I gotta go house some catfish po' boys and go to bed. It's almost
Wait,
11
what?
o'clock.
You got to do what?
House some catfish po' boys. I'm going to make some po' boys.
Some po' boys.
You don't know what a po' boy is?
You're losing me.
It's like, it's a sandwich. It's shorthand for poor boy, but it's pronounced po' boy.
Yeah.
You've never heard of that?
No.
Oh.
Is that a Midwest thing?
No, it's a Southeast thing. It's a Cajun kind of a deal. So a po' boy, a catfish po' boy is fried catfish on a bun with some pickles, lettuce, tomato, mayo, lemon. Wow.
That doesn't sound very
po'
boy to me. That sounds great.
Oh, I thought you said it doesn't sound good. No, that's just what it's called. But people make oyster po' boys, crawdad po' boys, shrimp po' boys. Yeah, a poor boy sandwich is what it's called. Oh man,
you go enjoy your poor boy sandwich.
So we need to meet in person someday, and that's what I'm going to make you.
Sounds great.
Yeah. All right, this was great. It was very informational by my by Hunt Quietly podcast standards. So
yeah, hopefully people stuck around till the end here.
Oh, I don't think it ever got okay. So if you thought this ever got boring, then you think everything we do is boring. So you're either on board or you thought all of that was boring.
Right.
I thought that was good. There's sometimes where my boring warning light starts going off. I'm like, beep, 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 beep. This is boring.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
But this one, I don't know.
Oh, good. That's good. Yeah, great. I listen to 3-hour podcasts all the time. So yeah, this was only 2.
No, don't be timid about this one. This was a winner by our humble standards. So, all right. Good night.
All right. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.